head.
I hate to have to do this on the air, but oh my god, those hamburgers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a food baby.
All right.
There we go.
All right. Bumping down to Tuesday news via social media. Quick little tidbit. We had mentioned the last time we were on the air, they had a very, very limited quantity of Rusev Day calendars hitting WWE shop. And if you weren't fast enough, they sold out ridiculously fast. So fast that WWE shop had not expected to turn out to be so much that they have put in an order for 5,000 more Rusev Day calendars.
Oh yeah, they didn't know it was going to sell. My ass.
Yeah,
you guys
I know.
put out your limited quantity so they would sell out. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah, exactly. But take your chances. Take your chances and get your Rusev Day calendar this weekend. I guarantee you these suckers are going to go quick. If I had money, I'd get one myself, but I'm out. I want a Rusev Day calendar. I want a Rusev Day shirt.
Just make a Rusev Day calendar.
Yeah, just write Rusev Day on
Yes!
It doesn't
really
work like that.
hard.
No, it's not an official Rusev Day. Just saying. Anyway.
It's already going to be March. You know, you already
No,
missed 3
it's already
months
going to be
of
Rusev Day. It's already going to be Rusev Day.
And you've already missed almost 3 months of it already. So.
And I will not miss Rusev Day tomorrow. Or the day after. Or the day after that. Anyway, moving on with Tuesday news. Huge news out of Lucasfilms. As we know, they've opted. They've already have another director working on, or a writer working on another Star Wars trilogy, and everything like that, separate from the current one and everything like that. Now, well, they also made another huge announcement because again, Star Wars is pretty much can go on for like ever. If you have the right stories and the right writers.
Hi, buddy.
And speaking of the right stories and the right writers, they have made an announcement that they have gotten Game of Thrones writers David Benioff and D.B. Wise, better known as D&D to all of us, to write a new Star Wars movie trilogy separate from the ones that are currently being made involving Luke Skywalker and the other gentleman, as I mentioned, doing his trilogy. So we're going to be seeing a whole new Star Wars trilogy made by the writers and creators of the television show. That is fucking huge.
It is.
I mean, well, look what they've done with the show. I know. Again, it goes how well
based on material they already had to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I know, but that's still pretty huge.
No, it is huge. It is huge, and it would be interesting to see what they can come up with out of their own, or if they're going to grab a couple books and adapt from the books, because the stuff that they have done, while good, again, is basically an adaptation. So that's why this is interesting.
It's definitely interesting to see what they're going to come up with.
I'm playing devil's advocate. Don't get all defensive with me.
It's going to be interesting to see what they come up with. If they are going, because I mean there are so many. Canon books to go out to go from. There's a lot of things that they can go from, or they're going to go with something completely new and original. Yeah, it's going to be definitely interesting to see what they do. Yeah, Deadpool socks. Thanks, Neil. Neil noticed my Deadpool socks.
When aren't you wearing Deadpool socks is the more important question.
I don't know. All I know is I need. Never mind. I was going to say something dirty. I just know how to put it together.
Okay.
Anyway. All right, moving forward. Tuesday news. A bit of like... She and I, from a certain standpoint, find this like very cool poetic justice and everything like that. As people who have been laughed at in our past and everything like that for things that we like, whatever like that. In a huge deal that happened this week within WWE offices, The Miz has signed a big 4-year extension with WWE. And that's fucking huge. Yes. One, for us, again, because he was a guy that before he got there was completely laughed at by other people on the Real World.
Oh, God, yeah.
And
probably laughed at by people watching him on the Real World.
He got laughed at. He got bullied by JBL, talked down to, shit on, and everything like that, and has evolved into literally one of the absolute best on television workers right now, to the point where like they're making the Intercontinental title synonymous with him, and actually he's done that on his own already. They have big plans and big pushes planned for him and everything like that. Of course, he's going to take some time off, obviously, around WrestleMania time. Actually, his WrestleMania bout is now questionable because since Maurice is due so close to around Mania,
2 days before,
like he may not even do it, and I don't think they're gonna really. He's got enough leverage and pull right now where it's like, look, if you got to miss Mania, it's gonna suck. Yeah. But I mean, it's a big deal, you know. It's his first kid and everything like that, and you know they're not gonna begrudge him that at all. Yeah, you know that's a huge moment and everything like that. But no, the Miz is gonna be around for another 4 years, which is great. Like,
yeah, exactly.
And again, like the year he was #1 on PWI, like we were like, that's fucking awesome. Like no pun intended. Jinx.
You and me.
A Coke. Anyway. You good to take a dump? What's that reference?
Of all the things you could have said, take a dump. Wow.
What's that reference from? Yeah, kicked out of the locker room by Benoit at one point, but you know what? He's come a long way and he's earned it.
Absolutely.
He's made the Intercontinental title completely relevant again, which people have been trying to do for years. Because even for me growing up as a kid, that was like the belt. Like, I didn't give a fuck about the heavyweight title. The Intercontinental title was the shit. Randy Savage, you know, Honky Tonk Man. Like, back then I hated it, but now, like, as I'm older and I understand the business more, I appreciate what he did. Like, I get it. Like, I appreciate it and everything like that, and I respect it and everything like that. Like, you know, Mr. Perfect, Bret Hart, Roddy Piper, like, the list goes on and on and on for great Intercontinental champions. And it's just great to see it finally happen. It finally happened thanks to what The Miz has done. And The Miz has worked hard for it. He really has.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Moving on to Wednesday news. Let's see. The Charmed reboot is moving forward. I know John's going to be interested in this and everything like that. The Charmed reboot is moving forward. Of course, you know, there's been a lot of vocalness going on from the previous cast member, you know, sisters and everything like that. But there are finally some details in terms of the reboot. The reboot's we got some character descriptions, as well as they're giving it a new little modern twist in terms of society.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
think I read that article. Yeah.
All right, so here are your character breakdowns of it's a new Sisters 3, so to speak. All right, so your first one is Macy, a witty, intense science nerd. Macy, who is in her late 20s, is a PhD in quantum physics who's moving with her boyfriend Gavin to Hilton, Michigan to work in the university lab. Macy has reason to believe that she is the sister of Mel and Madison. Her power is telekinesis. All right, in our twist here, Mel Pruitt, a strong-willed feminist. She feels deeply and is a bit controlling. Mel, who is in her mid-20s and a lesbian, is the sister of Madison. In the wake of tragic accident, the grieving Mel becomes angry, defiantly unkempt, even violent. It says unkempt. Pushing away those who might help her, including her girlfriend, Detective Sue Jin. Mel's power is time freezing. And then finally we have Madison Pruitt, Mel's younger sister. She's 18-ish. An athletic, Pilates cheerleading, college student pledging sorority. Madison is the opposite of her feminist sister with a desire to fit in. Madison is horrified to learn that she is a witch. Her power is hearing people's thoughts.
Okay. One thing I could already tell you I do not like about it, they're all stereotypes.
Yeah.
Whereas in the original Charmed, the girls were not stereotypes. You had one that was just a chef with your typical middle child syndrome, but that's typical of every middle child. Our fucking middle child is like that, you know. Prue was, you know, in a sense true to her name, and you know, just the thing that she did with art, I forgot what it was, like a curator.
Rob Zukowski, already bored.
And then, you know, Phoebe was just I'm still trying to find myself. They didn't really have any clear-cut definitions of who they were, but
Phoebe was the one that took over the show.
That's not the point.
Wonder why you like that one.
But these all just seem very stereotypical. And it's just, that's what I don't like about it.
John, will it top our favorite? Nope.
Never.
Nope. It's not going to beat out the original.
It just...
It's not going to beat out the original. I'm sorry. It's just... Okay, putting aside the Alyssa Milano thing, it's just... Even amidst the whole Shannon Doherty, Alyssa Milano controversy in the beginning, and thank God they actually settled their differences, but there was a chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying this trio will not have that, but there was a chemistry. There was a certain magic to it. You know, like it had a certain feeling, and everything like that. I don't think they're gonna be able to capture lightning in a bottle twice with this. I really don't.
Me neither.
I think they should have given people what they wanted. You know, well, I think Rose McGowan losing her fucking mind might have hurt that a little bit, but not that Rose McGowan probably would have done it anyway.
Look, when it comes to the late 90s drama shows like this that Aaron Spelling has a hand in, they have been known to fail. The new Melrose Place failed. The new 90210 failed.
Yeah, it's not. It just doesn't have a good track record.
And again, it's not a matter of whether or not it's good or not. It's just, you know, there was a certain magic to these shows that you really cannot redo. And
it's a different time. It's a different feel. Like things were different.
Yeah.
We, as much as the 90s was kind of evolving in technology. You know, like we were getting our free AOL discs in the mail to get free email and internet and everything like that. You know, like it was still all relatively new and everything like that. So like, people had to interact. People had to be a part of life. Like that's the thing. It's so easy not to be a part of life. It's so funny because they call it social media and it's one of the most antisocial things around.
Yes.
You know, it really is. If you think about it, it puts people at odds more than anything else, and it sticks people in their phones more than anything else. Yeah. You know, but it's not the same. It's not the same. Again, it's not the same magic. It's not going to be there.
No, it isn't because you know I watched the new Melrose Place, and it did not capture the same feel of the original. I liked it a little bit.
Yeah, but it didn't keep you hooked. Because I remember when it was first coming out, you were like, okay, I'm interested, I want to give it a try. Yeah. It didn't even last that long.
What caught my attention? When they brought the old cast in.
And I think you even gave like you tried to give the first 90210 a trick, and it was like...
I gave it a try when old cast members came back on. And I tried, and it didn't work. I think what also puts me off a little bit is that they're dealing with teenagers and 20-somethings of the now time, and they're all so self-centered and fucking pretentious.
And what sucks is
just there's no humility. There's nothing that makes you relate to the characters.
And that's the thing, like, and that's the saddening part. And it's more of a modern era thing. Like, there's no other way to spin it to make it believable for people. Because if you make it any other way, it comes off as a fantasy land to people, and it's not believable anymore.
Yeah.
So you have no choice but to make it that way, which then turns people off.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah. All right. In some WWE news, 205 looks like it's going to be able to stay alive, as Vince McMahon has handed over full control of 205 Live over to Triple H, and Triple H, of course, the last, I believe, 2 weeks now has been in control, is pushing it towards the direction he wanted to push it towards, which was focusing on the talent and not so much the characters and everything like that. Now, other than this being a big deal for 205 Live, there is more to this story. I invite you to check out Pro Wrestling Unlimited on their YouTube channel. He has a decent little... Can you stop licking your privates in front of the camera, please? A little more detail. But basically, 205 Live is the beginning of Triple H's ascension to power. No pun intended. Yeah. This is the first, other than NXT, this is the next thing that he's now getting to.
Because knocking up the boss's daughter wasn't enough.
Anyway, no, but he's done so great with NXT. Now this is the next thing he's being given control of. And Vince is not going to have a say on it. Triple H has final say in this. Now, what he is doing, though, is he has also put it out there. He's building his army out of this. What he's doing is he's building up the talent that he wants to take to the main